Drive sober or get pulled over.
Which state revised its COVID-19 guidelines for the second time? Murrow News 8's final newscast of the semester starts now.
Murrow News 8 starts right now.
Good evening, I'm Cameron Limes.
And I'm Kylie Gibson. Welcome to Murrow News 8.
There have been 15 new cases of COVID reported in Whitman County. All of the new cases have been people under 60 years old. Since the beginning of the pandemic, there have been 2,511 confirmed cases and 22 deaths in Whitman County.
There have been 14 new COVID cases confirmed in Latah County since December 10th. According to Pullman Radio News, this brings the total number of COVID cases in Latah County to 1,821. 3 COVID-related deaths have been reported in Latah County since the start of the pandemic.
The positivity rate for Pullman Regional Hospital has dropped to 9%. This was after a 2-week period of testing. And across the border in Idaho, Gritman Medical Center, the positivity rate has gone up to 11% from the 10.5% it was the week before. All the data has been taken from University of Idaho and Moscow Family Medicine.
Small communities have struggled to stay together during the pandemic. Murrow News 8 reporter Cameron Limes has more on the story.
Redemption. It's the story of Samuel Heading, a WSU senior, a member of one of the churches on Washington State campus. Heading's story is something remarkable. As a child, his family would bring him to church weekly, but then something happened, and attendance became less frequent.
Late elementary, early middle school, a situation happened. Not my story to tell, but my family stopped going every week to every other week to once a month to once every 2 months.
Following in his sister's footsteps, he wanted to join into Greek life, but soon found out it was not exactly what he was hoping for.
So, I was your every stereotypical college freshman dude, or more like freshman Chad. Shotgunning beers, being at parties, getting with all these earthly things.
But then he found a community who would accept him, Resonate Church. They helped him turn his life around and find people like him. Services were in person in Todd Auditorium, where people would show up in mass for service.
Church would be like the Todd Odd service at 6 or 6:30 would be a couple hundred kids every Sunday. So super inspiring, right?
But that was pre-COVID. And now religious services have to figure out how to keep a community together without being in person. Now imagine for a moment that I'm at a religious service and these 4 of us are the congregation. Now, before the governor's mandate, we could all spend time together in the same place and enjoy a religious service together. But now, all indoor services are limited to 25% capacity, which means that religious places have to find other means of reaching their community. Now, whether that means being outdoors or through Zoom. This extends beyond churches. Humayun and Khurram used to attend prayer in the local Pullman Mosque, saying there used to be hundreds of people in attendance. But that has all changed since COVID.
When went into phase 2 and phase 3, mosque reopened, and then the imam set some strict rules and regulations in which you have to maintain a specific distance while praying. So only 50 people were allowed during the COVID week and COVID time. People has to bring their own carpets to pray on, and then they have to sanitize and do everything and then go back.
But what have churches done? For some, it's giving out non-perishable items and books to the community, with inspirational quotes to help everyone get through these hard times, keeping the community together in some way.
The big people aspect changed drastically, but the reason why the church didn't fall apart when that happened is because the church was the foundation of the church is built upon those small group relationships that build up the bigger part of the church.
But for now, all religious services continue to be held through Zoom or socially distant, and all we can do right now is stay in our homes and our small communities and pray. With Murrow News 8, I'm Cameron Limes.
A person reportedly broke into the Humane Society of the Palouse in Moscow and stole their former dog, thousands of dollars in cash as well as checks, as well as some supplies between Monday night and Tuesday morning, according to the group and Moscow Police Department. Society Director Sierra Beeler said the person cut a hole in the outdoor dog kennel's chain link fence, shattered the glass in the door, pulled the door off its hinges, and entered the facility. She said the person ransacked the building, pulling out items from file cabinets, dumping them on the floor. Beeler said $60 in cash and most of the stolen supplies were recovered by Moscow police on the hill south of the society towards the Moscow cemetery. The dog, most of the money, and some of the supplies remain missing. Beeler asked anyone who recently donated checks to the society cancel them. For any questions, call the group at 208-883-1166.
Tri-State Outfitters in Moscow temporarily closed its store Thursday after 25 to 30 customers refused to put on masks when asked by the store's staff. Power said the maskless group visited the store in an organized manner and that the gathering stemmed from a Facebook post Christ Church pastor Doug Wilson to a private group called Demask Moscow. To defuse the situation Thursday, store manager Jennifer Lafayette announced over the store's intercom that Tri-State Outfitters was temporarily closing. Lafayette asked maskless customers to leave and masked customers could pay for their items they had at the register. Lafayette said that the social media, phone call, and in-person support from the community was amazing.
The Idaho Department of Health and Welfare announced Wednesday it has revised its guidance for how long asymptomatic close contact people should quarantine after exposure to COVID-19. For contacts who do not live in residential settings and are not healthcare workers, the quarantine can end after day 10 without testing and if no symptoms have been reported. When testing resources and public health capacity are adequate, quarantine can end after day 7 if test returns negative result with no symptoms. Symptom monitoring, masking, physical distancing, and hand hygiene must continue through day 14.
The holidays are here, and Pullman businesses are offering specials to promote local businesses during this pandemic. Murrow News 8 reporter Alex Biviano has more on the story. Alex?
Thanks, Callie. And yes, Shop Local Pullman is doing its 12 Days of Christmas promotion starting tomorrow, the 12th. Each business will offer their own set of specials, starting with Paradise Creek Brewery on Saturday. Featured businesses include My Office Bar and Grill on Saturday, Cougar Country Drive-In on the 23rd, and my personal favorite, Birch and Barley, will offer a special December 20th. Some businesses, like Mary Sellers and B&L Bicycles, will run the holiday specials for the entire 12 days. Now would be a great time to support local business with their holiday shopping this season. With Hanukkah currently in its second day, and Christmas will be here in 2 weeks. For Murrow News 8, I'm Alex Biviano.
Idaho police are working to keep the roads safe this winter season, an emphasis towards specifically impaired drunk drivers, along with education. The statewide campaign is part of the Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over. Consequences for even first-time offenders can result in jail time and license suspension.
The Pullman Islamic Center is looking for donations for its annex building project. Murrow News 8 reporter Humayun Khurram has more on the story.
Building a mosque is a long and challenging process which requires a great deal of resources, expertise, wisdom, patience, and consultation.
Generally speaking, the Muslim student body is growing. During the open houses, we had an overflow. We had to send people downstairs to the basement.
Due to the current limited capacity problem, it is not enough to accommodate the growing numbers of Muslims from Pullman and Moscow.
The cost is estimated at $850,000. So it's close to $1 million, and we have raised so far $160,000.
The Pullman Islamic Association has purchased a neighboring house adjacent to the parking lot to expand the mosque. So right now I'm standing in the parking lot of Pullman Islamic Center. If you see this piece of land which was purchased by Pullman Islamic Center a while ago for the extension of Pullman Islamic Center, an estimated budget of $1 million is required for this project, for which Imam says any kind of donations will be really helpful for them to extend this project. The new building facility will work as an overflow space for Friday prayer, Eid prayers, Sunday Islamic school, weddings, childcare, parking, and other activities.
Thank you for asking this question. We strongly encourage all Muslims and all the community members to donate to this project. We have links for PayPal, for Zelle payment, for direct money transfer to our account funding for this mosque.
Since local student population has income limits, budgeted amount is difficult to raise, and the project requires the collaboration of every community member.
Please donate as much as possible. Donation does not have to be significant. Even a small commitment can make a big difference to the community.
In Pullman, Washington, Humayun Khurram, Murrow News 8.
Well, the snow has not stopped falling today. A winter weather advisory has been issued for the Palouse. The National Weather Service is calling for up to 3 inches of snow today between 6 a.m. and 1 p.m.
Murrow News 8's Andrew Bartline has our weather forecast. Andrew?
Thanks, Kylie. Taking a live look outside right now, those snow showers have picked up quite a bit, leaving a thin blanket this morning. It's gotten worse as we've moved deeper into the day. This live look at sunny Side Hill right now. Very heavy, wet snowfall. Great for forts, snowball fights. Not so much sledding. I can already hear some of it dripping off my gutters right now. Our high today, 32, low of 25. Be sure to bundle up if you're leaving the house. Some light winds are making it feel closer to a mid to low 20. With that 4 p.m. sunset, our days are getting shorter and shorter as we move closer to the 21st. Looking at tomorrow, we have some chances at freezing fog overnight. That could potentially affect road conditions and your morning commute. We warm up a tad above freezing around noon, but that won't last long as showers are expected late tomorrow afternoon with a calm wind from the southeast. Our 5-day forecast shows showers well into next week as well, with my least favorite pattern, some rain following the snow on Wednesday. It's always the worst, rainfall after snow. It affects road conditions. It doesn't feel very jolly this time of the year. And if it gets colder after that, back to freezing on Thursday, Friday, it could potentially leave some black ice, definitely affecting sidewalks, road conditions, safety. So keep an eye out for that. And a quick look at Snoqualmie Pass. We see those roads have been plowed, making for safe conditions this morning, though. This picture, a couple hours old. So as the snow continues to fall, conditions will get worse and worse if you're trying to head home for finals week over on the west side. So keep an eye out for those wet roads, slush in places. Conditions look good, but they're only going to get worse as the snow continues to fall. That's our weather forecast. Back to you.
This year's election results may have been exciting for some, but disappointing for others. Murrow News 8 reporter Kylie Gibson took a dive into how people felt about those results.
This year's presidential election was one of the most memorable and controversial elections this country has ever seen. Some may consider Joe Biden's victory a benefit for our country, while others may argue that Donald Trump's loss was an unfortunate outcome for our country.
I was just so relieved that Trump wasn't reelected and he won't be in office for another 4 years.
That's how Washington resident Brooklyn Sanford felt about the election results. However, this is not how everyone felt about the election results.
I was a little bit shocked, I guess. It's not what I thought was going to happen. And I don't think it's over yet.
Sanford says the main reason that she voted for Joe Biden was because of his support towards the Black Lives Matter community.
The way Biden has spoke upon it, it's just hopeful that he will put something in place that will help people and hopefully stop the oppression that Black people have been going through since the beginning of this country.
Joe Biden took his Black Lives Matter support to Twitter on October 27th, posting this video.
This is Joe Biden. Black Lives Matter, period. I'm not afraid to say it.
Gray says that the main reason she voted for Trump in this election was because of something that Trump did as president that is really important to her.
It's really important to me that late-term abortions are not legal. I really don't like that. I don't support that. And that's something that the Harris and Biden, or Biden and Harris administration are okay with.
Sanford thinks that a strong characteristic of Biden is his proposed healthcare system plan.
You shouldn't be able or shouldn't have to spend thousands of dollars just to get the healthcare that you need, especially for people who are born with diseases like diabetes. Insulin is an insanely expensive product that they need to live. And it's not their fault that they're diabetic, at least for most people.
Gray contradicts that thought, saying that Trump's healthcare was beneficial to those who have diabetes.
He signed executive orders to lower prescription drug costs for things like insulin, which are life-saving daily needs for people that have diabetes.
Trump's presidency has directly affected many minority groups, including Black Americans, LGBTQ, Muslim Americans, and I am none of those things, but I'm able to recognize that that's not right and you shouldn't be marginalized just because of your religion, sexual orientation, race, whatever it may be.
Kylie Gibson, Murrow News 8. With a vote by the Pullman School Board, the Pullman District will acquire 60 new acres of land on Sunnyside Hill. The district will spend less than $2 million for the land funded through a budget surplus after the Sunnyside Elementary project. With the growing district, Pullman plans to build a new school on the property. However, Superintendent Bob Maxwell says there's no need for a new school at this time.
Pullman Radio reports Moscow Chamber of Commerce Executive Director Jenny Ford has accepted a new job. The report went on to say Ford will work as business development officer with Idaho's Central Credit Union in Moscow. Ford has been a chamber executive director for nearly 4 years. She leaves
Well, get your game faces on. This weekend's Cougar football game has moved up to 1 p.m. Ariel Yakabazi has our sports.
Thanks, Kylie. That's right. The 1 and 2 Cougs are set to play the 1 and 3 California Golden Bears tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. Pacific time at Martin Stadium. And this, like previous games this season, will include limited in-person attendance, but you can still cheer on your favorite team. I hope it's the Cougs from the comfort of your own home. And some cool news for the Seahawks in the world of the NFL coming out of the Oregonian. It's no surprise Russell Wilson of the Seattle Seahawks has been nominated for the 2020 Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year award. Wilson has been very involved with various charitable, philanthropic, and community service efforts throughout the Seattle area, and this has earned him the nomination for this award. To give a little bit of background for those of you who may not know, the award recognizes NFL players for outstanding community service efforts off the field, which Russell Wilson has without a doubt done, including most certainly not limited to pledging 1 million meals with his wife Ciara to Feeding America and visiting the Seattle Children's Hospital every Tuesday since 2012. And in the world of WSU men's basketball, the Cougs beat the Idaho Vandals by a mere 4 points, 61-58. Noah Williams scored a total of 19 points for the Cougs, which included a couple of free throws within the last 10 seconds before the final buzzer. And Andrei Yakimovsky added a three-pointer and a drive back-to-back, which tied the game 36-36 at one point. And Yakimovsky scored a total of 11 points, and Isaac Bonton scored 12 for the WSU Cougs, including 8 rebounds. Now that's all I have for sports today. Cameron, back to you.
Thank you so much, Ariel. Palouse Habitat for Humanity is participating for the first time in the Avenues for Hope fundraiser. All donations will support low-income or homeless Idahoans and will be matched up to a total of $2,500. This online fundraiser is sponsored by the Home Partnership Foundation. You can donate now until the end of December by visiting avenuesforhope.org. Thank you all so much for watching during this crazy semester. We appreciate all the support that you have given us. Big thank you to the production team and Matt Lovelace for helping us through this.
More news can be found at nwpb.org/mn8. Have a good winter break, Merry Christmas, and Happy Holidays from your Murrow News 8 crew. See you in the spring.